This is KGW News at Sunrise.
And good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, we're following a horrific murder-suicide in Washington County. What court records say happened just a few weeks earlier. Plus, connecting the past to our present. Why a local bridge is now one step closer to getting a new name. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for our Saturday forecast. Good morning.
Little brisk out there this morning.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, if you are not waking up to a gusty east wind, then you are waking up to some cold temperatures. Here's the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Dark and early, of course. Sunrise still a good hour and 15 minutes away. Current wind gusts across the region, actually current sustained winds on the order of almost 30 miles an hour out towards Troutdale. We're still sustained out at the airport at 15. And we are feeling the breeze in Newport as well. Check that out. East wind right now sustained at 25 miles an hour. If you're not feeling the wind, it's cold. Not much wind in Hillsboro, 22 degrees. Windy on the east side of town. Portland right now, 39. And that kind of holds true here across much of western Oregon. It's 41 right now in Tillamook, 39 Florence. Hopping over the Cascades, Burns has warmed. Last hour, Burns was below zero. It's up to 1 degree right now in Burns. We do have a freezing fog advisory for north central Oregon and out towards the Columbia Basin until noon as well. So watch yourself if you're traveling out that direction. All right, the plan for today, breezy this morning, breezy this afternoon, not as breezy as yesterday, but still plenty of east wind gusts in those east wind prone locations. We'll shoot for a high up near 50 degrees. Tim?
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Well, new this morning, police shot and injured a suspect in Portland's Reed neighborhood. This happened just before 1 o'clock this morning. Now, this is a little complicated, but officers responded to a robbery call along Southeast Powell Boulevard. The suspect got away in a car, and police put out the description of that vehicle. A few minutes later, a car matching the description was spotted along Southeast Steel Street. Police stopped that car. From there, details are scarce. We know police shot and injured a suspect, but they also detained more people as part of their investigation. The person shot is getting treatment in a local hospital. Well, we're learning more about the tragic murder-suicide in Washington County that left 3 people dead. Court records show the suspect was arrested just last month on domestic abuse charges. Washington County investigators confirmed that Carlos Jimenez Vargas shot and killed his wife Gabriela and her sister Lennon before turning the gun on himself Wednesday night. A little more than 1 month earlier, Jimenez Vargas was arrested and charged with felony assault and strangulation involving 2 family members, one of whom was a victim in the murder-suicide. Well, he was released pending trial under conditions he not contact the victims, members of his own family, and that he wear a GPS tracking device. All this extremely distressing for the entire community, in the words of the executive director of Washington County's Family Justice Center.
We always stop and ask ourselves, like, gosh, did we do enough? What we could have, and whether we knew them or not, always asking, did we get enough information out? Did folks know where to go?
Rachel Schutz leads the nonprofit that offers services for survivors of family violence. She says the recent strangulation charge is especially troubling, as it is with many domestic violence cases, signaling just how dangerous a suspect can be.
That's an immediate high risk. It's an immediate giant red flag because there is very little that's more lethal and a more lethal indicator of future homicide than strangulation.
Schutz said in light of this case, advocates hope to spread awareness about the resources that exist for domestic violence survivors. Now, we've got links and numbers to call up right now at KGW.com. The number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 800-799-7233. In Olympia, authorities say a man stole a semi-truck, hit several cars, then crashed that truck in the highway median along I-5. Police say it evolved into a standoff Friday afternoon around Olympia with the truck on its side and the man refusing to get out of the cab. The suspect also reportedly had a hammer. Eventually, it appears that he exits the truck, runs toward a group of officers, and then falls to the ground. Now, we paused the video before that point. It's not clear if he was shot by police. No word on his condition. We understand the driver of the truck was not injured and he's doing okay. Well, we are connecting the dots between two violent crimes in two states that happened a month apart. We've learned that a suspect involved in a different carjacking in Thurston County and shooting with police earlier this week is also linked to a double murder in Oregon. Let's take you back to the double shooting on October 12th. The victims were shot and eventually crashed into a fire hydrant at Southeast 122nd Avenue and Highway 212. Clackamas County prosecutors say Kathan Tenry and another man were involved in the shooting. The second suspect, 24-year-old Frank Nifrin, was arraigned Thursday on first-degree murder and weapons charges. He's still in jail on a no-bail hold. Now to this past Monday and the shootout in the Tenino area of Thurston County. This apparently started when Lewis County deputies began chasing a car that was wanted out of Oregon. They pursued north into Thurston County, where they say the suspects got out, shot at a car, and then carjacked a truck before the shootout with officers. Officers shot and injured Kathan Tenry, and 21-year-old Fymore Tenry from Gresham was killed in the shootout. The owner of that truck talked about what happened.
It was so quick. It was like, whoa, this guy has a gun. Whoa, he's shooting. Whoa, he's in my face. They didn't care. They had nothing to lose. Again,
Kathan Tenry was injured in the shootout, and Fymore Tenry was killed. But as far as we know, he is not connected to the Clackamas County case. Now, it's not clear when Kathan Tenry will be extradited to Oregon. Again, he was injured in that shootout. The other suspect remains in the Clackamas County jail on a no-bail hold. Well, like it or not, tolls are coming to Oregon's interstates. ODOT has already zeroed in on toll locations for a stretch of I-205 south of Oregon City. And now the state's asking for feedback as it begins the process of identifying where additional tolls should go on 205 as well as I-5. ODOT has already identified the Abernethy and Tualatin River bridges along 205 as locations for tolls. And keep in mind, these are not old school tolls where there are booths you need to stop at or buckets to throw change into. Instead, you'll drive under a structure equipped with a camera-like device that'll read a sticker on your windshield, or if you don't have a sticker, they can scan your license plate to mail you a bill. ODOT plans to follow a congestion pricing model, meaning it'll cost more to drive during peak traffic periods, maybe $2, and it'll cost less during less congested times, maybe 50 to 60 cents. Officials we spoke with realized this might be expensive for some people, so rebates and discounts are available.
We know that budgets are tough for a lot of folks right now, and we're committed to having a low-income toll program and to implementing tolling in a way that is fair and equitable for Oregonians. So there will be options for low-income travelers.
Now, tolling on the Abernethy and Tualatin River bridges is set to start in late 2024. ODOT is now beginning its work to identify other tolling locations. If you'd like to weigh in, ODOT wants to hear from you. We've got a link to the public comment on our website, kgw.com. Well, Multnomah County is clearing the way to rename one of its bridges. The Board of Commissioners unanimously agreed with advocates that the Savi Island Bridge should represent the history and traditions of those who originally lived on the island and not those who helped to colonize it. Catherine Cook has the story.
Autumn on Savi Island. It's a time of joy, ripe with tradition and celebration. But take a bridge back in time, say 150 years, and you'll find a world of tradition now lost on so many. A whole population that stewarded this land before it was taken from them. Historians say Chinook Indians, specifically the Multnomah tribe, were the first people to live here on this island. White explorers began arriving here in the early 1800s. Not long after that, the native population suffered from multiple deadly outbreaks, including smallpox. Within 2 years, they were nearly extinct. Around that time, the Hudson Bay Company sent a French Canadian to the island to start a dairy. His name, Laurent Savi. The name stuck on both the island and this bridge.
From this island and the bridge that are both named after a colonizer that did not respect the land or the people, I would say that upholding that name is similar to Christopher Columbus.
For that reason, Red Spike Elk and others have urged Multnomah County to change the name of this bridge. On Thursday, a resolution to do just that went before the county's Board of Commissioners. It passed unanimously.
The resolution is adopted.
Chair Deborah Kafori says this clears the way for choosing a new bridge name honoring the island's Native American history before colonization, not the story white settlers wanted told.
Because as we know, those who claim to win the war write the history books.
I think it sounds like a fabulous opportunity to bring awareness and provide some connection to that part of the history of the island.
Dawn Cowan is Dean of Students at Savi Island School. She's excited for the change, and so are students.
That's a history long ago, and I like it.
Thomas and his little sister Gemma know the significance of choosing a name.
It can't be anything that's rude or bad, because that is not respectful, responsible, or anything.
Out of the mouths of babes and into the hands of the county's tribal affairs advisor. She'll help choose the new name, a new bridge to reclamation. On Savi Island, Catherine Cook, KGW News.